guys, I'm Ange.
And I'm Laura, and we are Veganize.
Today we're making an awesome banana zucchini loaf.
Yeah, so this has actually got zucchini in it, it has banana in it, it also has applesauce in it. So it's like a 3-for-1. Plus it has nuts in it, so it's got a little protein as well.
Super healthy.
Absolutely, because we're also making this refined sugar-free. We're gonna be using extra virgin olive oil, which is a heart-healthy fat. So you're getting a complete treat snack that is gonna be healthy for you.
Alright guys, so we're gonna start with the wet ingredients. So first thing we're gonna do is our flaxseed. This is gonna be our egg replacer. So we're gonna have 2 tablespoons of flax with 4 tablespoons of water. We're gonna mix it up a little bit and then set it off to the side so it gets all
Congealed.
congealed.
In our banana zucchini bread, we only need 2 bananas. So the key with the bananas is that they need to be spotty and overripe. These are not eating bananas. So this is actually just the start of them. You can actually leave them for another day so that they're
like completely brown. Even completely.
Yeah, it's completely brown.
The more brown they are, the sweeter they are. And so we'll actually need to add even less sweetener because these will have the natural sweetness to them.
Yes, absolutely. And so for Ange and I, this might not be for everybody. We do not like to have big chunks of banana in our loaf.
No.
So we like to mix it up completely so it's almost pureed. So the best way to do this is to add this into your bowl with the wet ingredients and just to mix it up.
I'm going to be adding half a cup of olive oil. So while Mama's blending up the bananas, I'm going to be grating 1.5 cups of zucchini. So we have 2 kind of medium-sized zucchinis here, and I'll let you know how much this actually makes. All right, so that actually worked out to 1.5 cups exactly. We just packed it down a little bit.
So now also for this, if you're using ripe enough bananas, you will not need to mix it very long. If you're having trouble pureeing your bananas with the mixer, it means your bananas are not ripe enough. I mean, you could still use them, but you'd have to maybe add a little bit extra sweetener. So to make this loaf extra moist, we are less dry. To make this less dry, we're gonna use unsweetened applesauce. So 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce. Let's see, is that?
Yeah, that's about.
Okay. Now if you'd like to use less oil in yours, just increase your applesauce ratio.
All right, next thing we're gonna be adding into the wet ingredients is the maple syrup. So we're gonna be adding half a cup of this.
And when Ange is doing that, I'm gonna add lemon juice. So we will use 2 tablespoons of lemon juice.
Next step is vanilla. So we have the pure vanilla extract because this one is gluten-free. So I'll just be adding a teaspoon of this. I'm just gonna guesstimate a little bit.
So besides the sweet bananas and the maple syrup, we are gonna add a little bit of stevia. Now, if you want this completely sugar-free, what I would do is substitute the maple syrup and the stevia for monk fruit sweetener because that would also work. It's just that the maple syrup does give it a really nice taste.
So why are we using stevia instead of monk fruit sweetener right now?
Because we don't have monk fruit sweetener at the moment. Oh, but this will work because I find that when you use stevia, it does have, unless you're used to it, it does have a bit of an aftertaste. But because of the bananas and the maple syrup, you won't taste that aftertaste. Because
it'll be kind of blended in with everything else.
For sure.
Yeah, I know my sister, when she tastes stevia, she can tell immediately if it's in anything. She says that it feels kind of cold almost. And I can understand that, but I really don't taste it as much as she tastes it at all.
I don't taste it either.
I really don't mind it.
For this, we are going to be using 1/4 cup of stevia.
And so this stevia is just an all-natural sweetener. It's 0 calories, and it's not like those other chemically ones. This is actually, it comes directly from a leaf, so it's
natural. So it's actually healthy for you. It's actually got some antioxidants in it. So this
Splenda's
actually happens to be Splenda's version of stevia.
We've got almost all of the wet ingredients in there. We're just gonna add the flaxseed.
Which is, it's gone glutinous, as you can see it. If it comes out in a blob, then you've waited long enough.
Yeah, and blend it up.
So now we are ready for the dry ingredients, and this is a 1 bowl loaf. So we will add the dry ingredients right on top. Do not mix until all the dry ingredients are in. We're gonna start with 2 cups of gluten-free flour. If you are not gluten-free, you can just use regular flour.
I'll add in half a teaspoon of salt.
And 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And try and keep all of your dry ingredients in one section, like sprinkle it over.
So they can mix together without getting into the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay, so now we're gonna be using 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon.
Half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And our last dry ingredient will be pecans. You can use whatever nut you'd like to. Walnuts would probably go really well in here also.
Yes.
1 cup of this. I don't know if I said that. All right, so I'm just gonna mix up the top bit a little bit so the dry ingredients blend together, and then I'm going to mix it all with the wet ingredients. So this is all blended up now. It's kind of like a thick batter. It's not wet and pourable, but it's not also like you can roll it into a ball, and this is how loaves should be.
So you're gonna take a pan, like a loaf pan. You can have a glass one or a metal one. And the easiest way to do this, to be able to get it back out again, put a little vegetable spray onto the bottom. Take a little bit of parchment paper. You just need a little strip and put it in the bottom. The reason that we oiled it is because then the parchment paper will stick better.
Oh, it'll stick better.
Yeah, so the parchment paper actually goes down to all the corners.
Okay.
Because the idea is leave a little bit of room on the end so that when the loaf is done and ready to cool, you don't have to put it upside down, you just have to pull it out with parchment paper.
Yeah, that's so genius, really. I would have never thought of that.
Now dump it in.
All right. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so
Heat your oven.
heat your oven. We keep forgetting to say this. Heat at the very beginning, before you even get started, put your oven on to 350 degrees so that it preheats.
Oh wow, this is gonna be a lot for this little pan.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's a big loaf.
Yeah, this is a fairly large loaf, so you may need to cook it. A regular loaf would be about 55 minutes. So because this is quite large, it might actually take you like an hour and 10 minutes. At the 60-minute mark, check it with a toothpick, see if it is done, and if nothing comes out on your toothpick, then you know it's
not. Yeah, it's not goopy on.
It's not goopy. Yeah, you don't want a doughy, gooey loaf. Yeah, this looks great. So a trick would be if you had a little bit of monk fruit sweetener and some cinnamon and you mixed it up and you stuck it over the top, would be great. Unfortunately, we are
at the end, right?
At the end, right now, like at this stage here.
Oh,
it would be really nice to sprinkle it over. Unfortunately, we are out of monk fruit sweetener, and I don't know how stevia and cinnamon would taste.
Yeah,
so
I'm fine leaving it off.
Yeah, and I think this will be good because I think it'll taste great.
All right, guys, we're back. This has been in the oven for about 60 minutes, and we did the little tester thingy, and it came out totally clean, so we know it's done.
Yeah. So now we just do the little trick where we just pull it right out of the pan.
So handy.
So handy, yes. And peel it back. So ours is still quite hot.
Oh yeah, we let it sit for about 5 minutes before we tried taking it out of it.
We don't usually cut it up at this stage when it's still so hot. You might want to leave it for half an hour so that it really solidifies and it won't be too gooey. But we're actually just going to cut it to it just to see what it looks like.
All right, let's cut it.
Yeah, at this stage you have to be kind of gentle with it because it's still really hot.
Look at it, steamy.
Oh, it looks really good.
Is it done?
Yeah, it looks done.
Yeah.
I think it's great. So even at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom it is a little moist there, but it's because things have settled on the bottom. But I think as soon as it cools down, it'll look perfect. We want to make sure that the inside is not like gummy.
Yeah. So you can eat this plain, you can add some butter on top of it. It's such a little healthy snack that you can bring with you to have for lunch or
coffee break for sure. When you're having like a craving, this would be perfect. I think we should taste it. Let's get what do you want to put on it? Do you want to put a little jam on there? Do you want a little butter? Or do you want to just taste it as is?
We can taste it as is, then we can,
yeah.
Just to get the real full effect of it.
Right.
And honestly, if you wanted to make this a little bit more indulgent, you could add a few chocolate chips in here too.
Of course you can. Pretty good.
I really like it. I love zucchini loaves.
I think it's because the banana gave it a little extra sweetness. So it's not like your typical, I mean, I love zucchini loaf too, but I think it's nice to have the bananas in there because then you don't have to add as much sugar.
So honestly, this did not take very long, like probably not more than 10 minutes to throw everything together and then it takes an hour to cook, but after that you can have this and it'll be like a perfect little snack for you. Yeah,
it is really tasty, and I think because of the cinnamon and the nutmeg and all the flavors, perfect snack, perfect snack.
I really do love zucchini loaves.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. Let us know if you like the recipe. If you've tried it, please let us know in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for us, we'd also love to veganize anything that you have.
Yeah, please let us know what you thought of this video.
Yes, and I think coming up next week, I think we're doing like a chickpea masala.
Oh, yes.
So it'll be really good. A full meal that's easy and really tasty.
Yeah, so hope you guys are having a good day.
Yeah. See you later.
See you. All right, and we're